Just an ongoing story. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is in danger of being thrown off the election indictment case over her relationship with a top prosecutor. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon live at 5 at the courthouse. And Doug, today we heard from an attorney for Nathan Wade once again, but this time a bit more revealing.
Yeah, not much more revealing, Tracy, but certainly we learned more. I think the judge put it well. He said we learned more this time than the last time that Terrence Bradley, a former attorney for Nathan Wade, was on the stand. And that's because the last time Bradley was on the stand, he answered almost no questions, claiming there was nothing but attorney and client privilege between him and Wade's conversations, regardless of whether or not they had to do with this relationship. And so what happened was Bradley went into the judge's chambers yesterday. There was a conversation about how this was going to go and where to draw that line. Bradley had been Wade's divorce attorney since 2018, and defense attorneys say that he could prove the relationship started earlier than Willis or Wade claimed. He was around Wade a lot. They thought he might have that information. So again, Bradley had that meeting yesterday where it was decided that questions about the relationship did not fall under attorney-client privilege. But that doesn't mean we learn much more today from Bradley. Here he is telling the court that he has no idea when they started dating, despite serving as Wade's attorney and law partner for just about 5 years.
I've said over again that I didn't have any personal information where I could personally say when it started. I've said that time and time again. So I don't know when the relationship started.
Now, Bradley did have one conversation with Wade about the relationship. We're going to let him tell you at 6 in his own words how that conversation went and where it took place. For now, we're outside the Fulton County Courthouse. Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.